Welcome to Phil Margo, The Lion Roars, brought to you on Malcolm Radio. Malcolm, it used to be Malcolm Radio, but it's malcolmpresents.com exclusively.
And
Good.
and I'm one of those that you're presenting.
Yeah, it's Phil Margo. Now, who is
Yes.
Phil Margo?
Who? Yes, that's a question that takes a life. I got away with a lot of stuff in my life, not legal stuff, but I did things that were just in front of me that I was able to somehow make work, that I'm still amazed about it. You know, I can't say enough. I was thinking last night how lucky I've been, you know, that I've been at the right place at the right time with the right something, and I can't even put my finger on it. And, you know, it got me to a point in life which was surprising to me. You know, I'm surprised. You know, my grandkids think I'm a legend. No, I'm not. You know, I'm just a guy who had stuff come his way and was able to do something with it. I don't know.
Well, the thing is, a lot of people have things coming their way, but few people take advantage of it.
Maybe.
When the opportunity, from what from the time that we've been together in our shows, it seems like, when the situation arose or the opportunity arose, you seized it and then you made the best of it.
Yeah, I would say 50% of the time. You know, I mean, you can't, in show business, you can't win every time. No one does. You know, the greatest actors and actresses make lousy movies. The greatest writers write lousy movies. You write lousy scripts. You know, I mean, but yes, but when you can, all things considered, it's surprising what I was able to do. You know, and I was able to do it in a nation that when I grew up and when you grew up had opportunity written all over it. It wasn't crunched, it was widened. You know, opportunity was widened as we lived. You know, as the 50s and 60s, you know, after World War II, people got jobs that were able to pay for their kids to go to school, and they were able to buy homes and buy cars, you know, very easily. I mean, not easily, but it was there. You know, there were unions that had power that other administrations later on spent their time destroying. You know, Ronald Reagan is one who hated unions and who said, you know, don't ask the government, don't ask the government, you know, for help. It is the problem. And that wasn't true. That was a lie. And yesterday, the news was the same thing. Everything that the Republicans said during the election was a lie, and they knew it because they found documents that said they knew it, that said that all of the things that Rudy Giuliani and that other woman, whatever,
Sidney Powell.
Yeah, her, were lies. They were bold-faced, straight-out lies. He even sweated his hair dye down his face. He was lying. He was standing there lying. And the thing that shocks me is that millions, maybe 30, 40 million people didn't get it and still don't.
They still believe
I mean, when they took the Germans through the concentration camps, remember when Eisenhower said, open them up and bring the German people from those towns through the camps to see what they did, to see the corpses piled on top of each other.
Yeah, what he said also is bring the cameras in.
Yes, they brought the cameras in.
He wanted to document it.
And the bottom line was, I don't know how many Germans still believed it. I don't know how many Germans still believed in Hitler. I mean, you have proof. You see the video of the attack on Washington, on our Capitol. It wasn't a protest. It was an insurrection. They were killing people. They were beating people up. They were destroying property. How did they stand there and say, well, actually, when you think about it, only 36 people showed up for that thing on Saturday. I mean, that was, they had 400 people, half were press. and half were technicians.
But for a minute before we go on to what's happening currently, do you
That's
think,
current.
no, I know, but do you think it was easier when we were kids to get ahead or to live than the teenagers now or as high schoolers now? You think it's more difficult in this world?
I think two things. I think one, not for everybody. When we drove down to Florida, when I was a kid in the 1950s, there was still signs that said no Negroes at restaurants, at gas stations, and at hotels.
They also
I
said
saw it.
no, they said no
Only
Jews.
whites.
Said no Jews also.
Well, they didn't know, but you're right. You know, my father was up for a job, a big job, and for the people who had the Radio City Musical. He was going to be a photographer of, micro photographer, and when they found out he was Jewish, they didn't hire him. And I mean, he didn't know, and they said it right out, and so my father was a victim of that prejudice as a Jew.
Well, there's a marvelous movie, old movie called Gentleman's Agreement.
Sure.
With Gregory Peck.
Gregory Peck, yes. And you know what? That there still is a gentleman's agreement, because when the country opened after the 3 weeks it was closed, then they started opening it. They shouldn't have opened it, but the gentleman's agreement, who had the agreement, decided that they couldn't do 3 weeks of oil going down to minus dollars a barrel. So they opened it up so that people would start driving. They opened it up, and of course Trump went right along with it because he's the same, low life as the people who run the oil companies, and they're the same. And right now it's still the same. Why is gas in California $4 to $5 a gallon? Why?
Well, I know we at least during the summertime we have different grades of gas.
Yeah, but that's nonsense. That's just BS. That's BS. First of all, that's an excuse. There's always an excuse. Oh, we have a different. Oh, we had a fire at the factory. I mean, at the plant. Please. They lie through their teeth, just like the cigarette companies lie and the drug companies lie. They all lie.
What I always found funny is.
Don't you know that, everybody? You're being lied to. You're being lied to day in and day out.
I liked with the price of gas. When something happens in one of the plants, or
it goes up. It goes up $1.
It goes up the next day.
Yes.
It's almost like immediate.
Well,
but if something is corrected, the price doesn't go down immediately. It takes a few months because they say, right. We have the backlog and we have to
catch up. We have to do it's all. Anybody who believes the oil companies at all is a fool. They're fools. They're complete fools. That's why I got an electric car. As soon as I could get out and buying gasoline, I got out of buying gasoline. Mm-hmm. The only thing is my 66 Mustang needs gasoline. So I try to buy gas for the Mustang when it's lower in price.
And if you ever want to sell it, let me know.
Of course. Anyway, but
I have to wait online for it, right?
We're still being lied to by the corporations, and we're still being lied to, and the Republicans are criminals, all of them. They're just criminals.
When it comes to corporations and lines of corporation, I think it's equally spread out between.
No. See, you keep saying that. The Democrats are trying to pass a bill to make it okay for Medicare and the government to negotiate with the drug companies. The Democrats are, not the Republicans. The Republicans are standing in its way. The Democrats are trying to limit the power of the oil companies. They're doing that. They're trying to make deals for climate change. The Republicans are not. They don't want it to change because they want to sell the oil. It's that simple. You don't have to have a brain to figure that out.
The problem I find with the Republicans is there. How many Republican senators are there? 48?
There
No,
are
they're not
50.
50.
Yes, there are 50.
They're 50, okay, they're 50.
It's 50-50, and Vice President Harris is the
Right.
divider.
I don't see how every one of them vote as a block. In other words, you have 50 people. I mean, each of them are different. Some of them are
Because
more.
they're bought and paid for.
Yeah,
Come
but no,
on.
most of them are, yeah, some of them are liberals, some of them are conservatives, some of
Who's a
them are
liberal?
ultra-conservative, but they vote as a block.
There are no liberal Republicans. Well, there
Yeah.
are, no, they're not liberal. You use the term liberal. It's wrong.
Well, they're not liberal, but they're not
No,
conservative.
they're on, no.
Mhm.
Some of them have some honor, like the couple, like Elizabeth, I spent my whole life trying to Cheney. Liz Cheney cares about the country. She's a Republican, but she cares about the country.
So why does she
stood up.
So why does she vote in the block that Republicans vote?
She voted to impeach the president.
Yeah, but she'll vote. But when the bills are coming up now, she'll vote.
She'll vote for them. No, it's Kingsbrook. There's several Republican Congress people who will vote with the Democrats to pass these things that are reasonable and good for the nation. There's not liberals and Republicans. There's the liberals just want the truth and want the country to stand and grow, not to lose democracy. The liberals, you call them liberals, I call them Americans. The other ones are not Americans. They don't stand up for the Constitution. They don't care about the Constitution. If they did, they wouldn't pass these laws in all the states preventing people from voting. They're just simply preventing people from voting because they can't win an election fairly. So what do? They cheat.
Well, that's state boards. That's not the Congress.
They're Republicans.
The state legislature.
Hey, they're Republicans. They're not Democrats. The Democrats walked out in Texas and hid for 2 months. They're Republicans, and all they want to do, they know that they can't have power anymore because their ideas stink for anybody, who believes in the Constitution. I'm not a constitutionalist. It's not perfect, but it simply says you can't do what these people are doing. They voted. They put a law in place that allows people to spy on each other and sue if someone gets an abortion. What's the difference between that and Nazi Germany? What? Tell me.
Well, I as a matter of fact, what I thought about, we should, as a show, we should find somebody, an Uber driver, set up a trial case, and we should indict an Uber driver and sue him for taking a woman for an abortion. Get it all set up by the ACLU.
They're doing it already
as a test case.
The doctor from Texas said that he performed an abortion for someone over 6 weeks, and people are already suing him. And they say, the people who are suing him say that they're doing it to bring the case to court, to see if the court will approve it. You know,
that was during the Scopes trial. Supposedly the Scopes trial, which it was the ACLU who actually,
I don't know if the ACLU, I don't know if they existed then.
Yeah, they were the one that brought up the case in the first place.
But now you don't have a Supreme Court that's honorable.
Right.
You have a rapist. I call the woman a name that you can't say on our show, and well,
you can call her a lunatic if you want.
Well, no, she's worse
beyond
than that.
Okay.
No, she's worse than that.
Okay.
It's the worst thing you could call a female.
Right.
Samantha Bee used the term. You know, yeah. she got crucified for it, but she didn't say the word out loud, but you could see what she said.
Yeah.
A feckless blank. And I think that this woman in the Supreme Court is an insult to women and to justice. For her to use her religious beliefs to make a judgment in the Supreme Court is not this country.
Well, there's
There is-
separation,
there's a separation between religion and government,
government.
and she violates that. She walks over that line every minute. And of course, the other one is just a jerk, Clarence Thomas. He's a jerk. So you have a jerk, a rapist, and a feckless woman who doesn't care about justice at all. Roberts, strangely enough, it kind of sees the justice part of this country. He votes a lot of times with the minority.
Yeah.
But now, even with the four of them, he's a minority.
Yeah.
Brett Kavanaugh screamed and yelled and screamed and yelled, and his anger got him into the Supreme Court. When the Democrats, if Obama would have screamed and yelled, the Republicans would have said, "You're screaming and yelling. Black men shouldn't do that." You understand? That's what we're dealing with here. It's horrible. And the Supreme Court practically will cancel Roe versus Wade if it comes up in front of them. It's going to happen. That's why they were put in. And the Federalist Society is the one who puts these people into these offices, like judges and Supreme Court justices. The Federalist Society, where the federal government, all they want to do is get rid of the federal government. They just, and they want to get rid of voting, which is a federal law. And I don't know how. And now this paper that comes out about that they knew it was a lie, and look what this lie has cost this nation. It might not survive.
Well, it came pretty close not to surviving.
Yeah, but it's going to get. You know what? If Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema don't come over to the 50% so that they could put together a new voting fix, so they can protect the vote, that's all it is protecting the vote. The Republicans want to stop people from voting. They want Fulton County in Georgia to not have the full amount of people voting so that they can win an election in Georgia. It's that simple. Same thing in other blue, red states or purple states. And all they want to do is stop people from voting so that they can win. That's the only way they can win, is they can cheat. What the hell happened to this nation who believes in fairness and honor? What happened that these people can cheat to win an election in front of everybody?
Well,
They're not even doing it behind your back anymore.
The question I have is, what can we do about it? I know the problem.
There's only one thing that could be done about it right now. It's very simple. This is all in the hands of the Democrats. If the Democrats would unite and they would get 50 votes and use the system where they can and get rid of the filibuster, right? And then vote 50-50 with Harris, Vice President Harris, making the deciding vote, they can pass almost anything. And these guys are farting around, trying to figure out how to do it with the Republicans. They're not going to do it with the Republicans. It's really Lucy and the football and Charlie Brown. She always takes the football away before he kicks. The Republicans are Lucy. They will not vote anything, unlike except for the infrastructure bill, which yes, they had some votes, but for that bill, not the infrastructure, the COVID bill. They had some votes, but you know what? So what? I don't know. I'm so angry at them. See, the Democrats never get angry. The Republicans are always angry. They were angry since Newt Gingrich. They scream and yell. Oh, it's the government. All lies, not the truth. You look at back all of their arguments; they were all lies, every one of them.
Well, I'm disappointed in the Democrats and the now that they have them. Well, not either slim majority, is that they say people say, oh yeah, but if we do if we do the bills only with us, it's going to be overturned in the next Congress. Fine, let it be overturned in the next Congress.
No, that's bullshit.
But let's pass it.
But you know what?
The Republicans did it when they had control.
Yeah, but the Republicans are like the Nazis. They march Sieg Heil all together Zig Heil to Mitch McConnell. Zig Heil, Zig Heil, Zig Heil. We'll do whatever Mitch McConnell and Trump says, right? The Democrats sit and discuss things. Well, we should do it this way, we should do it that. Like rational government. That's what government is. You talk to each other, you figure it out. These guys are going to stop the budget, you know, they're going to stop, and the country will go into a shutdown because no reason. They didn't give a reason. They said.
By the way, I think they passed the extension this morning.
Did they?
I'm not sure, but I think I heard it when I was jogging on the radio.
It? The House?
The Congress. I think both.
No. The House and the Senate have to vote together. You're telling me that the Senate voted?
Yeah, I think so.
Even though Mitch McConnell said no one's going to vote?
Right.
For it?
I believe so. But then again,
all right, well,
I thought I heard this morning.
Well,
if not,
I don't know. I mean, I don't know the news of this minute.
But
look,
but
right now, there are things circulating in Congress, the Build Back Better deal and the infrastructure deal that are very important. This women's right to an abortion. You know, people who don't believe in abortion don't have to get an abortion. People who want to have it, they're turning religion into government, and that's not what this government was meant. That's why the founders said no. There's no connection between religion and the government. They're two separate things, and they're not obeying that. The Supreme Court. You think this woman justice is voting because you can't kill a baby and all of that? No, she's voting because it's her religion. That's what's taught her. Yeah, people have the right. And then this whole thing with the vaccinations, this thing with the if I may skip over that because we already did that. The vaccinations, it's nuts. Kids take up to 18 vaccinations when they're growing up to go to school.
Right.
To go to school. Okay? And this is just one of those vaccinations. Yeah. But because of the lies that it'll cause this and it'll cause that, all the things that it'll cause, which is not true, which has not been proven, just like the lies that Trump told about the voting.
The election.
You think I can't wait to see on Friday what these morons come up with in Arizona. This 8-month where they literally stole the ballots. God knows what they did. And they want to do it in other states. So what are they going to say? These people who are sponsored by the Republicans are going to say, oh, Biden really won. How? Well, the paper was made so that it automatically changed votes.
That Trump really won.
Yeah, Trump, I mean, right. Biden is not the president. Yes. I mean, how do you you're sitting, we grew up in a country that was reasonable and fair, No,
the world is full of misinformation.
I mean, I grew up in a business where, well, it was never honest, okay? The big guys always cheated the little guys in show business, always, until the little guy became a big guy, then they couldn't screw with them anymore, you know what I mean? If Tom Hanks is getting $20 million a picture, that's it. Give me my 20 million, kiss my butt. But the little guys who are on salary or like us, like the tokens, they could cheat us day and night. It's not worth going to court because we don't get we can't sue for more than they owe us. So if we find that they owe us $10, $15, $20,000, it costs us that much to get it. There's no treble damages for an artist. If there were treble damages or quadruple damages, then they'd be a little less likely to screw us.
Yeah, the union that helps you out, doesn't it?
No. The union makes rules, but they can't do anything about it if all they could do is yell, but they can't do anything. I mean, AFTRA won't go in to collect money from Sony for my record royalties, The Writers Guild will make sure that they pay their fees for writing a script or for whatever. But as far as residuals concerned, they could cheat us day and night. You know, they could cheat us. And also, it used to be that if you came to a company with an idea and they didn't and they rejected it, and then they wound up using it without you,
Yeah.
they couldn't do that, right? They couldn't do it. I mean, the writers guild, they wouldn't do it. The companies themselves wouldn't do it. Now they steal stuff all the time. You bring them an idea, they'll say, "Well, somebody came in the other day and brought the same idea," where the fact that I brought it in should protect it. Okay.
Yeah, well, that's
And
why.
like I brought an idea into different strokes, and they liked it, but they thought it had to be coupled with something. And then somebody came in with another idea that worked with it, and then they said, "Okay, we'll do it." And they called me in, and I wrote the script. But now, today, they would just use my idea and not tell me about it.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I have me and my partner have a script that I want to submit to Netflix. Nobody will look at it unless it's sent in by an agent.
Yeah, no, well, but that was true years back too. That was true years back. I mean,
And for a beginning writer, you can't get an agent that has any power.
no,
The agent that I could hire is someone who has less experience than I do as a writer.
well, yeah, but see, as a writer, what happened with me was I was representing Robert Guillaume, and I would go to the tapings of the show, and I would sit there with the vice president of current programming from ABC network, and I would chat with him and talk to him. And I said, I had an idea one day, and I said, I have this idea. He said, "What?" I said, and I told him the idea. And he said, "Okay, you call me on Monday," because we taped on Fridays. "You call me on Monday and I'll set you up with somebody in the development department." So I called him up. He set me up. I went in and he bought it because it came from the top. It came from a vice president. They bought it. And I wound up making the movie eventually. They wouldn't let me write it at first, but then after two people wrote lousy scripts and they were about to kill the project, I said, "Let us take a shot at it. Let us write the story." And then if, and they did, and they liked the story and they let us write the script, and we wrote the script. We took minimum money unless the movie got made, and it got made. So we got paid the full price of it. But that's, an agent only got me one job. Okay. Which was, an agent got me the Love Boat episode that I wrote with Donnie, the last Love Boat with the main crew, with the original crew, with Captain Subing and everybody else, and Isaac and everyone.
Well, I learned a long time ago in sales and radio sales, you can go to many people to sell something, in a large corporation. Let's say I was selling advertising time. And everybody, "Oh, yeah, let's buy it. But when they give it to the head man that pays the bill, the head guy says no.
Right.
So you have to go to the head guy first, because to go to the other guys, it doesn't really make a difference.
That's what I did. As I said, I talked to a vice president, he set me down. And then when I sold Goddess of Love, I sold it to the vice president of programming, of movies of the week. So yes, I mean, you're absolutely right.
You got to go to the right person.
Well, yeah, and that's hard. And today, like, I have really good ideas. I'm almost 80. I'm almost 79 and a half. I have really good ideas. I didn't get less of my ability didn't leave, but I can't get to see anybody. I can't get to see anybody. I can't call. I have the same. If I called Netflix, they wouldn't talk to me.
You gotta.
And by the way, something else. A lawyer. If you have a lawyer that's in the entertainment business that they could submit a script too.
Oh, can they? I didn't know that.
Yes, lawyers can act like agents. So if you have a lawyer that you trust and he knows people, you got to see if he or she knows people.
Yeah.
Could call someone, they could submit it. They will accept. At least I did. I had a lawyer submit something, and they accepted the submittance. They accepted it.
Actually, where we have to go, speaking about entertainment, maybe our next show go over the how television has changed and the streaming and the cable stations, and how like when I was watching the Emmy Awards, I realized that if you didn't have the various other stations, you didn't know what was happening, because a lot of the awards, a lot of the main shows were not on network or not on local
Right,
television.
right.
And they're
Right.
good. Some of them were excellent.
That's true. That's true. There's a lot of stuff. I think Netflix won the most Emmys.
Netflix.
I think that there's a lot of stuff, but it's still who rather than what. In other words, it's who they deal with rather than what the idea is. It used to be a good idea got you going, but now you have to be a who.
Yeah, but anyway, talking about who's and talking about time, our time is up, believe it or not.
Well, I believe it, and it was delightful, and thank you for letting me
and we
into your home and onto your computer.
You're more than welcome.
Okay, see you next week.
See you next week. Bye. Bye, everybody.